Welcome, guys, to Caleb's Basketball Pod. As promised, here's our Game 2 breakdown. So I just want to start by saying, first off, amazing game last night. We saw a huge lead for the, well, not huge, but like 14-point lead for the Knicks. We did see the Spurs rally like crazy, but just from mistakes of being a young team and inexperienced in that moment, we saw too many of that. So we'll break down more of the game, but let's just start here. Let's start towards the end of the game. Let's start. The Spurs get a stop under 30 seconds to go. At now, probably about under 20 seconds to go. We see the Spurs get a stop on the Knicks. Victor Wembanyama not really looking through a push-ahead pass. They do that a lot. Those outlet passes, we try to get fast break, try to get easy buckets. Problem was Stephen Casso was not paying attention. He had his back torn, so when Victor Wembanyama threw this pass, it bounced off of his back. Brunson grabs it. Brunson gets bumped out of bounds. He makes one or two. Okay, so let's start there. First off, Elliott pass. At that time, under 20 seconds in the game, the biggest thing has to be ball security. You have to take care of the ball. You have to know where it's going to. And I'm not saying it's all on Wembanyama, because in the NBA, you should expect when these passes are coming, these outlet passes. So Stephen Casso should have most definitely expected it or seen it coming. He didn't. But the other thing is, Wembanyama, you're our best player. You're supposed to be our leader. In this moment, if you did see he was paying attention, because when you look up the court, you could see his back was torn. You should have just either called a timeout or not thrown it. Those are your two options there. Instead, you cost your team big turnover. He does only hit one or two, so you still had a chance to win it. Down one, 9 seconds left. You had a shot to win it. I'm going to be honest, I do not like that last play call from the Spurs. First off, let's start with the De'Aaron Fox. So De'Aaron Fox gets the ball. We see him dribbling. He took a lot of time down. He dribbled for about at least 3 seconds there. So now you have 6 seconds to walk. I get you don't want to leave the Knicks any time, but you also, in my opinion, you want to get attempt at the putback. There's going to be not a lot of time for the Knicks. If you do make a shot, no matter what, they're still going to have call timeout. You still set your defense, and you can go from there. But instead, you take 3 seconds off dribbling. Now you set the screen. On the screen, it looked to me like De'Aaron Fox was a little unsure. Do I want to pass? Do I want to beat my man off the dribble, attack the basket? When he took that split second where he wasn't sure, then he turns around and he passes Wembanyama. Wembanyama, instead of driving inside and going at Mitchell Robertson, which I do think the physicality of the Knicks have a lot to do with this, instead of driving inside and going at Mitchell Robertson because he thought he could get blocked, because that is how the Knicks have been playing, and they've been playing very physical with him. So instead, Wembanyama settles for a bad mid-range shot. He tries to draw a foul. He falls down on the jumper. Wasn't really any contact there. Just a bad shot, in my opinion. Bad play call. De'Aaron Fox was too hesitant. Maybe he should have just tried to beat his man off of bounds. It looks like that's what he was trying to do. Instead, he goes to beat his man off at bounds. And then when he does, or he doesn't, either or, that turnaround and pass lets the Knicks know there was never any other plan than to get the ball to Wembanyama. So when you have Mitchell Robertson in the game for that final possession for this reason, you know why you put him in the game. Amazing defense by Mitchell Robertson, and just big stop there. But Mitchell Robertson showing that that's what he does, playing with a broken hand too. He was able to move his feet. He stuck with a big man. I myself would have, if the ball went to Wembanyama, I would have went earlier. And I also would have tried to get something at the basket. Mid-range shots, jumpers weren't really working. Even if it was De'Aaron Fox going at the basket, former clutch player of the year, I think that would have been a better shot than what you ended up with. I'm not big on the play call. It was too telegraphed. It was too much knowing, hey, it's going Wembanyama. I myself would have tried De'Aaron Fox going downhill. He was scoring on that. And to be honest, he probably had a better matchup than who was on Mitchell Robertson being on Wembanyama at the moment. Now let's flip this. Let's talk about the Knicks. This may be academic at this point. Madison Square Garden's going to be rocking for games 3 and 4. This could be all but over. This could be over in 4. I was expecting a 1-1 after San Antonio, and we did almost get that, but almost doesn't mean anything. The Knicks hung in there, and they took 2 games. In San Antonio, the Garden's going to be rocking. I'll be very surprised if the Spurs win 1 or 2 even in the Garden, and we have a series, but I think the series is about over. I think we're about to see the New York Knicks as NBA champions. Big moment for New York. You know, there's a ton of fans that want it. We see Ben Stiller and Timothy Chalamet pretty much every game. And the ticket price for games in the Garden, they're going to skyrocket, winning 2 straight in San Antonio. You have a chance to close you out in Game 4. It's huge. I do want to mention this. I want to say, like, if you're the Knicks, you really got lucky last night. You had that 14-point lead. The offense looked stagnant, especially for the 3 or 4 minutes straight. I think it's 5 minutes actually. They didn't score. Offense looked stagnant. They were coming down, dribbling too much, too late in the clock. They looked like they were having the issues that the Cavs had against them in the series prior, when they gave up the 22-point lead in the fourth quarter. We were seeing the same with the Knicks. The only difference was, first off, the inexperience of the Spurs compared to the Knicks in that moment. I thought what really helped the Knicks was that unnecessary foul by Champagnie on OG Anunoby. You had all the momentum. You really don't have to jump and hit at the ball and hit his arm on that 3, because it was most definitely a foul. The problem was you don't have to do that. You were moving him off his spot. He was taking an uncomfortable shot. A contest is good enough. That's that inexperience we're talking about. This ain't the regular season game. That gave the Knicks a chance to score when they had it scored in 5 minutes. Then once they scored, they went to the free throw line, forced free throws of the second half. You could see they were able to calm down. They got into their offense more. They saw the ball go in the hoop, and it was huge for them. It helped them really rally and scoring these final possessions and didn't make the heads-up plays. Because I also want to point out, Wembanyama, as I mentioned, the pass to Castle that bounced off his back, and Brunson grabbed it. Heads-up play by Brunson. If Brunson was running back and his head was down and he wasn't paying attention, he did not realize that, and Wembanyama probably could have got it back because it bounced off of his teammate. He could have touched it again. Or you saw Brunson running head up. He sees that bounce. As soon as he sees that bounce, he's the force from there. He gets that dribble. It's the plays like that that's making the difference, and it's the experience. The Knicks, they've been playing great. I personally, I believe Brunson right now would be the MVP of this series. But the Knicks are also not doing this stuff if Karl-Anthony Towns is not on the team, because he has been huge these first 2 games. And his defense on Wembanyama has been just really good. He's playing physical. He's doing the stuff people say Towns don't play physical. Well, Towns is being the physical one, and Wembanyama is not really wanting that physicality matchup between him and Mitchell Robertson. And you have to give credit, and Spurs just look a little shook right now. They were finally getting in with them in Game 2 towards the end, and we saw it was enough, and it was just those mistakes at the end. But right now they just look shaken. The Knicks look like they're confident. They know what's going on. They have a game plan that they're going straight to it. The Spurs look like they're switching a lot of their game plan, look a little unsure. They don't really know. We see how they guard these pick and rolls different from the Knicks. We see how they're changing up different things they're doing and how they're defending Brunson. I think that kind of gives the Knicks the heads up in the matchup, because the Spurs don't really know what to do. They don't really know how to guard this matchup or that matchup yet. And they're trying a bunch of different things in game, and it's a little too late. And we're not seeing as much switching game plans of the Knicks, and I think that's just because they came in there knowing, okay, we're going to do this. If this doesn't work, we're going to do that. Seems like they're a little bit more prepared. They did have a lot more time to prepare too. But just in general, it just seems like right now Mike Brown's out coaching Mitch Johnson, and all credit to Mitch Johnson, forced NBA Finals appearance, and he did it in only his 2nd year with the team. So props to that man. He's going to be a great coach, and he is perfect successor, in my opinion, Popovich. They still play that Spurs style, still that grit. They're back in the finals, and I believe win or lose this series, they're still going to be a staple of Western Conference Finals and NBA Finals for the next 5-10 years if they keep this roster together, because that's San Antonio Spurs ball. That's the culture. As for the Knicks, they're just honestly looking like the best team in the league since late April. They lost to the Hawks, and everything just started clicking. That very next game, they blew out the Hawks. After they blew out the Hawks, they kept blowing out the Hawks. They finished that series quick. They went on to Philly. They not only swept Philly, but they just dominated Philly. They pretty much kept their foot on their throat, and they did not let up for 4 games. In that last game in Philly, that got brutal. That got bad. You couldn't even watch it, especially if you're a Philly fan. That got bad. Then the same happened in Cleveland. We did see them struggle out the gate against Cleveland, but they came back 22 points in 8 minutes, and from then on, it just looked like they had that mental edge over Cleveland, and they never bounced back. Then the last game against Cleveland, in Cleveland, was also a dominating performance from the Knicks. So, I mean, what much more can you say about the Knicks besides the fact that whatever they figured out, it's just working. And the IQ on the team, we're seeing like guys like Shamet coming in the game, telling Brunson in game 1 what play the Spurs are about way 1. He's like, they're one in pistol. And Brunson looks, and he looks over at Mike Brown, and Mike Brown's like, they're one in the pistol. So then Brunson's like, okay. So then he's going, and we see him sniff out that play, and we saw Landry Shamet get the miss still because he sniffed out the play before it was even going. Like, if you're the Spurs, like, your offense can't be that predictable. If you're the Knicks, I mean, props to them. The film, everything they've watched, they've studied, we're seeing this come into play. I think this is game 3, obviously. It's going to be probably the best game of the series because both teams have something to prove. I believe Garden's going to be walking, but it's do or die for the Spurs. No teams ever came back from 3-0. It's not going to happen with this Knicks team. So if you're the Spurs, you can't lose this game, but that Garden's going to be walking. And we've seen when the Knicks get teams like this, they finish them. They stomp them out, and it's over. So they're going to come out with fire. The Spurs are going to come out with fire because they know if they lose this game, it's over. We'll wait for in wrestling term. I guess you could call this game 3. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be a good one, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Spurs, in my opinion, have to make a lot more adjustments than the Knicks, and then you have to force the Knicks to adjust. Right now, we're not seeing the Knicks have to adjust too much, and that means they're calling out everything you're doing all too well. If you're the Spurs, you really have to make adjustments. You have to dig deep, and of course, shot making's not going for the Spurs. In the first 2 games in San Antonio, it's going to be hard to think shot making is going to go your way in the Garden. So be interested to see what happens. And we'll wait for game 3. Thank you guys for watching. I will be back after game 2 the next day with another episode of Caleb's Basketball Pod.